Hey, what's up, man, players? Man, Talk 24/7 here, man, with a Christmas gift, man, breaking down my single back twin tight end chief. It's called single back twin tight end chief, but it's not even in the Kansas City Chiefs playbook. First play we're breaking down is a halfback slam. Run play I'm running right here is a zone strong. Now, with this scheme, I like to set people up with the run, and then I like to go over the top with the pass. Now, the run game out of this formation, especially when people come out in wide nine and they spread their line, you have to run the halfback slam up the gut. Where else would you run? And yes, I'm content getting 2, 3, 4, 5 yards because I know eventually I'm going to break it long for a touchdown run. There you see me, man, running in for the touchdown with Jeremy Hill. But look at this right here, though. Just disgusting vision, and that is why you do not want to hold turbo on the zone strong run unless you have space. If I just took my time and let the blockers develop, I would have been able to get positive yards. Instead, I'm running into my own people and not picking up any yards. But there you see right there, I audible to the halfback slam, and then I kick it to the outside, break the tackle with the stutter step, and then we go in for a long wait. Is this about to be a touchdown? I was about to say Giovanni Bernard gets brought down at the 2-yard line, but once they start to pinch their line, that's when we're going with the stretch. So I like setting them up with the halfback slam, getting all these yards up the gut. Then I mix in a zone strong, mix in a halfback stretch, and wait. Halfback belly weak. This is the counter run out of this formation. I don't run it very often, but it is a nice counter run to keep the defense honest. And I really like the 4 runs out of this formation. I mean, you have a counter in the halfback belly weak. You have a zone strong. You have a halfback slam. And you have a stretch. So right here, I audible to the halfback zone strong. No, I come out in zone strong. And I motion over my tight end to the left side. I call the play, and we run in for an easy touchdown. There you see. The reason a lot of people have their lines pinched is because I keep running the halfback slam. And once they finally pinch their line, that is when I run the stretch. But look at that. I motion in my wide receiver, and he blocks one of the Steelers linebackers for me. I love motioning wide receivers when I run the ball, especially when I run the belly weak. But this is why you sub in offensive linemen at your tight end positions when you want to run the football. It makes a tremendous difference. Having a lineman, having your fullback out there, motioning your wide receiver. If you want to run, you have to commit to the run. And that's something I definitely like doing out of this formation. You can run and pass the ball out of the same formation effectively. Look at that nasty spin move. Oh my goodness. Shazier, who are you grabbing at? But unfortunately, we get tackled out of bounds at the 3-yard line. But here you see, man, I'm running the halfback slam, taking my time. And then right here, I audible to the stretch. And look at this. Daylight and go in for the easy touchdown. That's how you set them up. The slam is not a home run hitting run, but it is good for a consistent, 3 to 7 yards. And right there is the first passing play that you've seen so far. Old-fashioned verticals, but I'm not going to break that down right now. Man. This is what actual games really look like, man. You run the ball over and over and over again. And then you set them up with a deep pass over top. This is the first passing play we're going to break down. Tight end spot. I have the deep pass wide open. I have the slant that I motion height wide open. I have the corner route the tight end is on wide open. And then X, you can put him on a slant. You can leave him on his route. Either way, you're going to burn man coverage. There you see, look at the separation A has. RB on the slant is open. X is open. But I'm going over the top. I'm greedy, and I'm snagging on you in double coverage. Oh my goodness, snagging all over the defense. And right here, same play. Tight end spot. Except this play, I flat RB instead of slanting him. And this is how you get a nice little turbo boost. I like to drop back about 2 to 3 steps with the quarterback and then hold turbo and start rolling out. And I playmakered up AJ Green to block for me. Didn't even block for me. But the playmaker, you hold left trigger or L2 on PlayStation, and you move the right analog stick. And it will move your closest wide receiver, tight end, fullback, running back, whatever. It will move them in whatever direction you move the analog stick. Now that's why I like that tight end spot, because of that X route. You know, just when you think everybody is covered, you have that X route, and that's a nasty route. But, you know, speaking of X routes, look at that route right there, and that is the second play I'm going to talk about, and that is wide receiver clown cross. Now, the tight end on his corner route, it gets open. The clown route that X is on, nasty against man and zone. And that's a very nice play. And here you see I run the play verticals. And RB can be pass led inside against defenses. There you see perfect timing just as he was passing the linebacker. And that can be a huge chunk. There you see RB. I can pass it to RB. But instead, I go over the top to lock it because the cornerbacks are confused about who to guard. And 4 verticals really attacks a cover 3. It really attacks the cover 3. There you see the guy I'm playing runs away, but so does his computer players. The play verticals, you just have to find a good combination of players that make the defense act stupid. I found a nasty combination. That dude Matthews and Lockett, they're a nasty combination. I like usually finding a big, fast wide receiver in the slot, and then a slower, bigger wide receiver on the outside. And that combination, fast against slow, and this is how you dot up a cover 2. This is how you dot up a cover 2 right there. Instead of putting B on a fade, this entire video I've been putting B on a fade. But right here, I left him on his route, because the original route he's on in 4 verticals, it goes into the inside. Now, a fade attacks the sideline, but the original route he's on attacks the middle of the field. So the safety on the left has to guard him, and, you know, he cannot guard them both at the same time. He can't guard them both at the same time. There you see tight end spot. Very nasty flood concept. I have 3 receivers in the same area of the field. And right there, that's just horrible vision. I had X open, RB open, but instead we hit the, what's that thing called? We hit the check down for a smooth 15 yards. So it's really not anything, you know, major, not anything complex, but it's a very effective scheme, and this is how you make it a little bit more effective. You come out in the play, and you quickly flip your play, and that allows you to come out of your huddle faster, and then you can attack the defense deep. This is what I like to do when I like to take deep shots. And there you see I lob it up to Beckham Jr. He gets the catch and goes in for a touchdown. 4 verticals, very, very deadly against cover 3. Very, very nasty. And then you see 4 verticals against man coverage. Right there. Oh, that's not 4 verticals. That's the next play. PA Steelers sail. You can, all I did right there is I put RB on a curl route. My tight end on a curl route, very, very nasty. There you see right there, that's 4 verticals. He had to guard both tight ends, and I pass led that in the middle of the field. Easy catch. But the setup I usually do for 4 verticals is I fade B, and I put my tight end A on an in route. That's my most common setup with verticals. And that's what's very effective. Now, if I want to attack at cover 2, I will leave B on his original route. But normally, I'm putting him on a fade against man and zone coverage, unless it's cover 2. There you see wide receiver clown cross. Very, very effective play against man and zone. There you see You just saw it work against zone coverage earlier. There it is against man coverage. I threw it right as he made his first cut. Very, very tough. And here you see, I pass it to B as he cuts across the field, but I step up in the pocket. That makes the linebacker follow me just a little bit. I'm able to fit it behind him for the touchdown. Now here we go running PA Steelers sail. Right here, I put X on the slant and RB on the slant, and I motion X about a half step in. There you see, very, very deadly, and honestly destroys man coverage. Very, very tough. And right here, I'm running 4 verticals, and I put X on a slant instead of leaving him on the route he was on. And there you see, I mean, that's a 90 speed linebacker. That's who? Watts? He has 90-something speed, so he was trying to guard them both. He had to guard the tight end on his route and the slant, and that's against a cover 4. Here we go with the clown route play. And I just let everything develop, and then I playmaker my running back on that delay route upfield and get 22 yards. So, you know, it's not about forcing the ball into coverage. It's about making the right read, the right play call. With the nasty heaters off the edge, but I send Victor Cruz on a slant route. I roll out. I'm able to hit him. There you see with the defensive tackle A gap, but I have A wide open. And that play, PA Steelers sail. I mean, you have 2 C routes. 2 C routes on the play. Disgusting. Don't even think about playing man coverage against it, because you have 2 C routes completely destroy man coverage. Here you see it against zone coverage. I mean, this is a cover 4. You know, when I started running this play in games and I'm getting 25 yards against a cover 4, that's when I knew, man, I was on to something special. There you see right there. That is a route I rarely throw, but when he is open, I just throw it. I don't have any pass lead. I just throw that route to B. But it's mainly a distractor. I mean, against man coverage, I don't really like throwing it. Against zone coverage, not really, you know, comfortable throwing it. So I really like it just to, you know, stretch the field. But there you see the PA Steelers sail. That X route destroys man and zone coverage, cover 3, cover 2, cover 4, man coverage. This play is very, very nasty. There you see it again. You have Richard Sherman all over it. Get off him as Victor Cruz just throws him to the ground. But that's something I like to do right there. I like to mix it up. You know, I like to call a nice little play action, then hit my tight end in the seam, you know, freeze the user on the linebacker. He was using his linebacker. I was able to freeze him real quick. And again, he has to guard Y, he has to guard X, but he's forgetting about A. So that play, PA Steelers sail, very, very nasty play. Very, very tough to guard. Here you see me consistently dot in a cover 4. But you can also, instead of putting B on a fade like I do most of the time, you can put him on a hitch route and just pass lead it down. I like doing that in a short passing yard situation. And there you see with the tight end spot, that X route that Victor Cruz is on, very, very effective. But wait, that's against a cover 2 invert again. So here you go. This is 2 separate ways to attack the cover 2. Here you see, right here, what makes it so tough is he has to guard A, he has to guard X, and he's forgetting about B. So you really have to guard multiple routes against man coverage, and it really makes it tough to key in on one read. There you see me running tight end spot. I roll out. I have 2 routes attacking that same part of the field, so the zones get sucked down. I'm able to hit him for the touchdown. Don't be afraid to pass it to X quickly as he makes his first break on that C route. Andy Dalton stumbling and bumbling, throwing dots. Stumbling and bumbling, throwing dots. And this is a very, very tough scheme, man. But please do not, you know, right here, I have X wide open. I can hit RB. But instead, I hit the check down, man. I hit the check down. The tight end on the in route, very, very effective, very, very nasty. But don't forget about the flat. That's what I like to do on tight end spot. I like to put the far right tight end on a flat route. And it really, you know, if they're not going to flat, pass it to them. I have a lot of touchdowns just passed into the flat. Very, very simple. Here you see me going up against the Blitz. And motion hiking X on a slant is I mean, look how far that defender is off him. Oh, my goodness. Very, very tough. He had the guard lock it on the deep pass. The blitz did not get there, and we were able to easily pick up 50 yards. So slants, if someone keeps running man coverage against you, mix in some slants. You can put your wide receiver on a fade, make him respect the fact you will go deep, and really just keep him all balanced. I've been running this scheme. It has me in the top 100. I was already in the top 100 prior to running this scheme. But running this scheme, very, very, I've been having a lot of success with it. And this is how I like to attack a cover 2. Again, right there, just to, make it even tougher to guard, I motioned the wide receiver on the left. I motioned him over, a few steps. And I left B on his original route. So it was no way that the safety could guard both of them, especially when I motioned out Matthews, because it just created an even bigger gap in the zone, and we were able to go deep. Now, don't sleep on that tight end route right there. On that tight end route that I hit earlier to RB, the pass lead inside, that is open a lot against, zone coverage. That is open a lot against zone coverage. And right there, that's something I like to do. I like to call a tight end spot and roll out. And RB is wide open. I mean, he's my offensive tackle. But if you're not going to guard him, I'll take a smooth 7 yards. But he was wide open on the play earlier, the flat route. So here you see right here, I have B wide open. I'm just choosing to take off. You don't need a scrambling quarterback. I'm just showing you, what to do if you have a scrambling quarterback. You can playmaker up people. You can playmaker your receivers upfield to block for you. That's something I really like to do. It makes a big difference. But look at this, it's just the small things like this. I run zone strong. I pick up 2 yards. I'm thinking, you know what? I should get more than 2 yards. So I sub in the goons. I sub in the offensive tackle. I sub in McCoy. And look at the difference in blocking. I call the halfback stretch. Look at the difference in blocking. Look at number 78. Is that number 78 out there? Downfield, making key blocks. And that's the difference. Right there. That's the difference. Very, very small difference, but it makes a huge difference. There you see I put Lockett on a fade. He gets a step. And there you go with the touchdown. But man coverage, there you see the X, that C route, very, very nasty. I mean, guarding in man coverage, I don't care who you are. I mean, look at this. Just get destroyed, not even near him. Very, very tough play to guard in man coverage. There you see, you still have A. So you have 2 C routes on that play, PA Steelers sail. Here you see, again, you have to guard X and you have to guard A, and they're at different parts of the field. Very, very tough to user. And the last thing I'm going to talk about is this play verticals, man. Against everything else but a cover 2, I like to fade B. But you have to find a combination. That's rare. That's PA Steelers sail. That's rare. He just burned the corner, so I threw it to him as he was making his cut. I could tell he was going to be open, but, sometimes it gets open. When it gets open, throw it. But it's not really one of your reads you're going to look to. But as I was talking about earlier, man, this is what really happens in games. I'm trying to go deep. My opponent is blitzing me, and I have B wide open. I have RB wide open, X wide open. I'm trying to chuck it deep to B because I keep seeing him get open. I keep seeing B gets open. So I max protect my next possession, and there you see right there. Just find a combination that works for you. Find a combination in verticals that works for you. I like going deep against zone blitzes, cover 3s, Find a combination. On the Steelers, I like Martavis Bryant in the slot, and, you might laugh, but I like that dude Spaeth on the outside. Something about Martavis Bryant's speed and Spaeth's lack of speed that makes the defense act stupid. Find your own combinations that work. I hope you enjoy this scheme. Merry Christmas. I'm sorry I haven't been posting, and if you bought my offensive guy, I sent you an update today, Merry Christmas. Hope you enjoy this guy, man. Be sure to check out my offensive guide in the description. It has this. It has my Pittsburgh offense, just added a Pittsburgh update. Still has my New Orleans offense, I'm having them both. I am giving them both to you, for the same price of, $20, man. I'm really trying to help people out, man. And I decided, I didn't want to make a whole new scheme for someone that just got my guide, and then you would have to get that also. So if you have my guide, don't worry. I send you an update. Check your email. I hope you enjoy this scheme. I hope you enjoy the scheme. Posting a trash talk video today. Merry Christmas. Thanks for following me. And I really think that's it. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the scheme. Hope it helps you out. And be sure to check out my guy, man. My offensive guy. I'm trying to, help you guys out. Get you started on the right foot. People that just got their Xbox One, man, here. Here, man. Take this, win your first ranked games, and just start out on a positive note. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoy the scheme. And yep, that's really about it.